Good morning, everyone. Welcome to American Scousers Morning Coffee or Tea with American Scouser on a Monday morning where, yes, he's the highlight over here. Grumpy as can be. I was extremely grumpy this weekend after the match. Nothing like PlayStation to solve your issues, though, so that was nice. But now we wake up, Mateusz, to freaking snow. Mind you, I saw it coming down last night because I went to bed late, but yeah, I think I jinxed us. I was just saying last week, I think we're pretty much done with snow. We'll get a cold front, but nope. There's probably at least like 4 inches out there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's horrible. I know that up north, like I've got a friend in Minnesota. They just got pummeled too. Michigan got pummeled as well. So I guess it could have been much worse for us. But having to wake up to this disaster on top of the disaster of the weekend, all in all, just doesn't make for a great time whatsoever. And the garbage service said that they're gonna run everything a day late, so now I gotta go out there, bring it all back in, just to then take it all back out again because of the snow was so bad that they suspended today's garbage pickup.
Is that what happens in the rich neighborhoods, or is that how that works?
In the rich neighborhoods, they come inside and just take everything out for you. You don't have to bring it out yourself. So, yeah.
Yeah, I did not see this coming at all. Out of nowhere, we get snow over here. I mean, I guess like I kind of knew Angie was saying it's supposed to snow and it's going to snow a lot and stuff. But I mean, as always, I don't know how this works, but this is the Chicago way of doing things. It'll be like 8 to 12 inches. And then you get like 4. So whatever they say, you can easily divide by 2. And that's what you expect to get. Unless, I think, if you get lake effects like Northwest Indiana and stuff like that, then you get hammered up there or South Chicago. But, us in the suburbs over here, you included, buddy boy, you're a suburban as well.
The couple hours away, gang.
A couple of hours away from Chicago, yes. I think you're like, what, 40, 45 minutes?
No, it's like an hour 15.
From Chicago?
To my house, yeah.
What are you walking?
I don't have anything clever to say. No, I'm not. I mean, so I guess, well, okay, we have to, and I'm going to try and stretch this out for about 60 minutes. We're going to talk about Liverpool.
Ideally, I'm trying to avoid talking about Liverpool here. Yeah.
So when I'm thinking, you have to put into context, like, what part of Chicago am I going to? Because I can get to a part of Chicago in 45 minutes. But if we're talking like downtown Chicago, it's going to be an hour 15. Michelle goes
I didn't realize you were that far off.
Yeah, Michelle goes to the office every Tuesday, and it takes her, depending on the traffic, like between an hour and an hour 30, depending on the morning. So yeah, it's not as nice as you thought it was.
Traffic late at night, you coming back home.
Going 90 miles an hour, yes, about 40 minutes.
Okay, yeah, because it's 45 minutes with no traffic over here. But okay, unfortunately, we're running out of things to talk about before we come to Liverpool. What did you have for breakfast?
Coffee.
Yes, coffee. It is.
I haven't eaten
Brazilian coffee.
Brazilian. Have you had mushroom coffee?
No, actually, somebody. Have you?
No, we just bought some, but I haven't tried it yet because I'm kind of scared. I don't know why I'm scared.
Too many YouTube video ads and you gave in, or what?
Yeah, I think I've just been inundated through social media of rise. Like, please leave me alone. And then I bought it because it wasn't leaving me alone. And ever since I bought it, or we bought it, I should say, I haven't gotten a single ad. So it works. They know.
No, dude, see, it's the opposite because Layla got me a Remarkable for Christmas.
I love those things.
And yeah, it's freaking awesome, actually. And but ever since we got it, like, I never got ads before because I went online, looked into like, how can I get the most out of it, kind of a deal. And now it's like freaking ad after, like, we got it already. Like, that's fine, just go away now. Like, we got it. But no, see, Ryan has had mushroom coffee. Okay, I mean, that doesn't help. Like, you have to tell us. Well, I mean, Mateusz is about to find out. I don't think I'm ever gonna find out. It just doesn't sound right. It didn't look right. More importantly, it looked like Pedialyte or like those like protein drinks or something like that. It's like a really smoothie texture is what it looked like on the commercial.
Like thick.
Yes.
This is the kind of,
Syrupy.
but I mean, you're Turkish, so isn't thick coffee like right down your alley?
What the hell does that mean? Strong coffee?
Yeah, it's usually like tar, isn't it?
But the bottom is tar. I mean, you're supposed to get to the tar and be freaking done, and then chase it down with water, and you're good.
So just imagine just then sucking that tar down at the end of it. And
No, why would I do that?
No.
No, that I will not do that. That sounds disgusting. I don't even like the tar part at the end, really. But the normal part is, like regular old-fashioned coffee over here. Easier on the stomach. Okay.
See, the one that we bought has all 3 of those mushrooms. It's just a concoction of every mushroom that I have ever known to exist.
Well, have some and report to us, because it does not sound. I know Ryan says he prefers it, but I like, in what sense? Easier on the stomach. Okay. Well, okay. What else have we talked about? So we don't have to talk about Liverpool. Coffee, we did. Weather, we did.
Luca had a game winner.
Yes, I watched that, actually. One of the rare highlights. Mind you, that was a crazy end to a game. As always, that didn't have to be crazy, but I don't know, dude. Like NBA is very difficult to watch. So is that, like, a single game is so difficult to watch because it stops so freaking much. Yeah. But we're headed that way. What did I see that they will going to be doing? Like commercials during like VAR and stuff like that. What did I see? This is a World Cup. Is it being tested? Something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
I wouldn't mind, like a split screen, like they're still watching it. We're still seeing it on the screen and on the left.
It's not completely go away from it
or some shit. But Chelsea and a transfer ban. I did not hear about this, actually. But speaking of Chelsea, have you seen the photos and the comedy that Chelsea's huddle has the referee in it? Are they just making it too obvious? What's going on here? Have you seen this? I'm gonna have to show this. Anything to talk about the state of Liverpool?
Now, this is completely unprepared. I've never seen this before, so you're gonna get my unfiltered, unadulterated, everything reaction to this that I haven't been able to script or prepare beforehand.
And the referee was like, saying they're going to complain to here, I'll show you right here. I mean, it literally looks photoshopped, but it's not. Like, I literally thought initially it was a Photoshop, and I was like, that's fucking hilarious, kind of a thing, like, oh, like they have the ref on their sides too, kind of a thing. But no, like, this is like a true event over here. Like, I don't.
Why not? Why not? Maybe here's the thing. Maybe the refs, they were never able to enjoy playing in this kind of capacity on a team. So why not experience what it's like to be part of a huddle as dynamic and as energizing as Chelsea's? You look at some of those guys like Cole Palmer. Who wouldn't want to listen to Cole Palmer before a game, right? You look at Enzo Fernandez. You're like, who wouldn't want to listen to Enzo? I mean, I don't know, but it's that's pretty much where we're at.
Dude, it was okay. So I'll ask you this: since you have not seen this, like, literally, when I first saw this, I thought it was a Photoshop. And I thought it was funny. I laughed and I was like, oh shit, wait, it's a real story kind of a thing. Then I went and watched it and I saw like Chelsea's complaints and stuff. And I guess they always do it over the ball, blah, blah. I don't know. I don't watch Chelsea pre-matches to know like how they roll and stuff like that. But so the referee can, I guess, get out of the way, right? Like, he can take like 2 steps. Oh, you guys are gonna huddle over here, I'll get out. But then at the same time, Chelsea can be like, oh, the guy is standing over there, we'll just huddle over here. It's not like they have this like 35 game winning streak that we're like, we don't want to rock the boat here. Kind of thing.
It's the ultimate sign of pettiness from both sides, right? Pettiness and stubbornness from the ref and from the side. There's nothing else that goes on, because yes, either party could take and move over 2 yards, 3 yards, whatever the case is, but neither wants to, because they're stubborn and they're petty, and that's just where they're at.
Lucky Singh is in this morning. He says Glazers out. next season, Baleba and Elliot Anderson, I want leadership. That's odd because I mean, I think every United fan wants Glazers out, but Idip is kind of happy with now. I can't freaking. I had to. Yeah, maybe the bar is low. That's why it looks, like the season looks pretty darn good, kind of a deal, like because the bar is so low. But two toddlers fighting over a toy at kindergarten. This I will let go. Yeah, it's just awkward. Like when you watch it, it just looks awkward because you would think the ref would feel awkward and be like, okay, let me get out. And then you would think they would be like, this is obnoxious. Like, I mean, you look at the photo, like Palmer's right in his face, and it's like, dude, like somebody's gonna be the adults around here. And I think it's easier for 11 people to it's probably easier for the ref to move as opposed to 11 people. You would think. No?
Yeah, no. Yeah, it would. Gosh, that's just ridiculous. I know we're trying to talk about anything but Liverpool, you guys. We're trying. We're really trying. That's why we have Chelsea on the screen. So don't hate us too much.
Yeah, this was from the weekend. What else can I find? I don't know. South Asian Scouts are here good in this. Well, unfortunately, okay, we milked 11 minutes without getting to Liverpool over here, but we do have to. This is probably one of the most frustrating where I have screamed a lot to the point where Angie and Jasmine were on the phone and it was speakerphone, and Jasmine was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go," because she's been at the house before when it's like those, and it's like, yeah, it's not a great time to talk right now. Yeah, I was kind of like cussing up a storm because it is kind of getting like too frustrating and like sick of the same over and over again, especially knowing. I mean, I was basically saying what's gonna happen like after like 40, 50 minutes. Like at the beginning of the second half, and I'm like, if we don't score, we're gonna concede in the last minute. And what do you know? We don't score and we concede in the last minute. Kind of get punished for not getting the second and stuff like that. But man, the frustration, I don't know if I'm more frustrated over the results, how it came about. I mean, can we fucking score for God's sakes? Because we did have the chances, despite what people will tell you. Should I be getting mad at that? Should I be getting mad at like people who are almost like happy with the results because they think Slot is gonna get fired because of it and stuff? That's frustrating. But overall, you can tell the players are frustrated. Just listening to Soboslai's interview, I don't know if you saw the post match, but he's like, if we play like this, we gotta fix it. But he doesn't know what the problem is. Honestly, I look at that match and I was like, how the hell did this happen? And I've said this before, right? What was that, the Forest match or something? Sometimes you walk off the pitch and you're like, how the hell did we win this? But then sometimes you come out, saying like, how the hell did we not win this? And this was one of those, like, how the hell did they not score?
Yeah, there were chances too, right? I mean, that the Gakpo chance that was saved off the post, that was 2 inches away from going in. That would have changed the game. That would have killed the game. I think what we've seen this year, all year, has been a difficulty to kill off matches. That's been the hardest part of this team, to be able to sit and continue peppering the other side and getting that second goal. Every time this team has gone 1-0 up, there's never been a sense of safety. There's never been a sense of comfort. There's never been a sense of this ending in a win, really. Ever since, I don't know, what was it, October, we could say, maybe September. There's just been that uneasy feeling every time the side goes up, on the rare times that the side does go up to begin the match. So I think it's especially frustrating when you think about the state of the two clubs right now, and where Spurs was coming in and where Liverpool was coming in. It very much felt like the players had a sense that they would just walk all over Spurs, and it was just the easy 3 points. And Spurs kind of came in thinking like, yeah, we suck. There's nothing here for us. They kind of just laid back and was just going to take it. And then once, the 70th minute hit and the 75th minute hit and the game wasn't killed off, then you gave them the hope that you don't want to give any side in the Premier League, or any side in the country, or in any side on the continent right now at this point.
Yeah, because it does feel like, look, in the first half, they should have definitely had the second goal, but we can't finish for some reason. I mean, you go back and look, the goal we scored is like, I mean, I don't know what the hell the goalie's doing. That's not going to a corner or anything like that. We're like, or maybe we're like spoiled by his normal free kicks going to like the top corner and stuff. But that's not a special free kick or anything like that. That's like really terrible goalkeeping over there. And I don't know, there's a lot of like player picking and stuff like that. I don't even think this is like a player issue. And you saw Rio. Like Soul says, it was a big mistake. I don't think you could tell Rio was wearing down. If anything, I actually felt like you could see Robertson wearing down, and probably Kirkes would have been a better move. Not only because he gave away the mistake for the goal. He almost gave him the second one, but it was. But at the same time, you see Rio's finishing is not there yet, because he does have 2 chances where, I hate to say it, this Gakpo is in the same shooting situation. I have a lot more faith in those shots hitting the target at least. But, what Rio did, watching it is exciting. Watching Frimpong on the right-hand side, you can kind of see how speed kills and what happens when we have speed out there. I think, but people don't understand, though, is some of these substitutions are basically just medical team related, where they have to be subbed. They're not ready for 90 minutes. I don't think Rio is ready for 90 minutes. Definitely not Frimpong, and definitely not Wirtz. And if he keeps him on 90 and he pulls something off, then people are going to be like, we needed him for Galatasaray. Why did he play him for 90 minutes? So that's like a no-win. And honestly, if we finish 1-0, the problem over there is, I'm so sick of this freaking like Gakpo thing, man. I thought he was one of our better players yesterday, but whatever. Maybe I'm looking at something else than everybody's looking at. Because Ekitike, when he comes off the bench, man, he's shit. Like, I don't even know what he did yesterday.
Dude, here's the most frustrating thing with Hugo is that he reminds us a little bit of Bobby in the way that he plays sometimes, right? And it's so exciting when he has those moments where he's able to stand up on the ball and then be able to play the way that he does. It has flashes of Bobby, it has flashes of like Torres, it has flashes of Henry, even like people, there are moments like that. But the fact that he can't play 90 minutes consistently, which means he needs rotation, also means that when he comes off the bench, he is absolute garbage every time he comes off the bench. He is not good in a 20, 25, 30-minute spell, which is really frustrating when you think about the dynamic of what possibly would have seen this season with Isak and Ekitike, having them bounce off each other and having them come off the bench for one another throughout the week. I mean, we still don't know what that would have looked like, but if that's the case, there would have been nothing to really enjoy about Hugo coming off the bench and seeing the way he's playing if this is how it goes every time. And same thing with Isak. Isak doesn't seem like a guy. He's a guy that needs to grow into the game from the beginning. He's not a guy that can come in like just head down and go for it. So both guys, it's worrying about what the future of both guys in the system would be, given that they need to start and they need to both grow into games. Otherwise, they're essentially useless.
How can he go play? But he can fucking run. That would be a start. He can actually run and press like we were pressing, like people who shit on Gakpo was pressing and winning balls and stuff like that. I don't remember one freaking ball that Hugo won, and he can make like an effort. It looked like, remember, like there was a game last year, Gakpo came off the bench and we kind of like really shit on him, rightfully so, because it looked like he didn't want to be there or do anything. But the thing is, off the ball, what I liked with Ekitike was like he was still like working. He did not do anything yesterday when he came off the bench, just like nothing. And I don't agree with this at all. I think Van Dijk was amazing yesterday, and not much he can do. And the last ball is like really more on Robertson than anybody else. I know everybody tried to put it on like Van Dijk and stuff. I saw maybe Gomez, maybe he comes over too early to help kind of a thing and leaves his guy. Maybe Szoboszlai should be back there, but he's not a right back. But yeah, the long ball, I know about Robo there, but VVD, like Van Dijk not only won every ball, those long balls, and that's all they were doing. And the one time it went towards Robertson, they were able to kind of like go off the bounce and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of like, player picking and without like actually watching, it's almost like just go off of the names. It's That's what like frustrates me more than anything else. Like I guarantee you, half the people talking shit have not even like watched the game. But they're just like, oh, Gakpo started, he must have been shit, kind of a thing. Whereas that was not the case at all. I felt like overall the play was decent in the first half. You create the chances, man. You just gotta finish. You get the second goal over there, and it's over. But going back to your Ikitika thing, I think, what we were talking about, oh, Ikitika on the left, maybe Isak in the middle. I don't think so. I think this is going to be a 60-30, like you're saying, and we're not going to play with. Everybody kind of assumed that we would do like a 4-3-1-2 kind of like a deal. But I don't know, like looking at, yeah, like, right? Do you still see that? Because like then based on these two guys, Isak and Ikitika, like you would have to have backups that can come in and do that same role. So are you gonna have like four? It's like center backs. Are you gonna have like another two guys so they can come in and finish to 30?
That's a good point. I think if you do set up in that 4-3-1-2 kind of diamond situation, you're gonna need a different six if Gravenberch isn't going to be the kind of six that we kind of saw last year and won't see again for some freaking reason now. And then you're going to need another midfielder outside of McAllister and Jones that can be a much better defensive and a much better on the ball sort of midfielder. But when you have those two up front in Ekitike and Isak, and you are looking to then make substitutions, you're probably looking at a substitution that takes off one of those strikers to put in a midfielder or defender and then change the formation entirely. Because I don't think you're going to be able to continue buying players for a kind of system in that capacity, because it's not sustainable. It's hard enough to get a striker onto your side who isn't completely upset about not playing every single game.
Yeah.
And you imagine now you have two strikers that deserve to play every game for the most part, right? I mean, it's just based on the profile, based on the value. I know that transfer amount shouldn't be the reason why sides get picked. It should never be the reason. But we can't also be naive and blind to think that a $130 million player shouldn't play every week. And they are thinking the same thing. So then to add another player or two behind that, unless it's a guy from the academy, to which point the drop off is going to be so much, then can you rotate? So I think based on the depth of it, having the two up front probably is not going to be a sustainable thing. So yeah, I don't know where else to go with that point.
Yeah, I mean, based on what we're seeing so far, I guess it really depends on what we're playing. I mean, I'm actually amazed in that situation. They did not go to VAR. I mean, I thought that was, I think they did. They looked and they called it off. Like they didn't call them to like watch it or anything like that. I was kind of shocked because I was worried that was going to be a penalty. It's done a lot better. Let's put it that way. It's done a lot better than what Van de Ven did. That one was a lot more obvious, I thought. This one is more struggle. And, once again, we all freaking hate him, and you knew he was going to have a goal. I know Solo was saying he predicted it. I mean, it's almost like whenever he plays against us, he tries to play his best game as Richarlison. That's one of those incidents, I think, when Richarlison tries to kind of like stay strong and not go down under Van Dijk and gets kind of punished for it. Like, I feel like if he takes the dive there, that might have been a penalty. It would go. Once again, we punish a player trying to stay up. It was one, and
it's over fucking there. Richarlison of all players that we're now defending a little bit. And
this is he could have gone down. He is pulling the shoulder blade. I mean, I don't know. Like, it wasn't as obvious as Van de Ven, where he's just like yanking it. So it's like they're rubbing on each other. But that's because I think Richarlison is trying to fight it off. If he keeps going, it would be a different story over there. Vince says Richarlison is going to save us. I think, the boys were talking about it, I think Friday morning, like out of all these relegation teams, I mean, it's weird to talk about. I mean, hey, if we won that game, Spurs were tied. It was a 3-way tie between, and these guys are going to play each other. Some crazy games are going to happen in that sense. But, for relegation teams, we usually look at, are they going to be able to score goals? Like, are there goals in them? I think Richarlison is the only guy you look at Spurs and say, like, he'll get him something. So I think they have that. You look at West Ham, you're like Bowen, like he might be able to get him something. So every team needs that, and I think that's the most.
I mean, and that's because their injury list is so long too, right? I mean, like imagine if they could have Kulusevski or Madison play these games still. I mean, those are guys that you find goals in 100%. And I mean, I'm a big Kulusevski fan just in general, so I think it's a shame that he's been hurt all year, but it's unfortunate. It's just a mix of poor availability and just sort of a lack of cohesion, a lack of idea from the managers that they've had. But they have too much talent to go down, way too much talent to go down.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. We keep saying that, but they're mighty close at the same time. So maybe, I mean, it could be the injuries. It could be all these manager changes. I have zero faith in Tudor trying to. I mean, you look at yesterday, man. That should have been an easy win. There's no way in hell. I mean, there's nothing about like management, nothing like that. We kind of invited them, and that's the frustration I have with this team is they are so freaking soft mentally. Like mental giants and stuff. Like, I mean, like just mentality midgets right now because they knew that as the game went on more 1-0. And the bad thing now is the opponents know that we are going to give it up. And I feel like we are worried that we're going to give up a goal. And that's when that combination happens, you're always going to give up that last minute goal. And it's pretty bad right now. And you can kind of tell the frustration from like Slot to the players and stuff. But obviously, at the end of the day, when you watch a team like this, and I've been like Slot's in, and I don't think he's going to go anywhere until the end of the season. So there are no, and look, these are normally, and I knew this too. I've been saying that like these are the games I worry the most about when they're so easy on paper. You're like, oh, we should be smacked. There were people that are like, if we don't beat them by 3 and stuff. Whenever people fucking say that online, it's gonna go downhill. Like it happens in the past under the Klopp era as well. Like we would be like, oh, it's Burnley, we'll be able to smash them and stuff. And then it was like 0-0 game and stuff. But there has to be a point where we do say, as much as I'm a slotting guy, you can't change the whole squad. So do you just need to change the voice in the locker room to give them confidence back? Because it feels like everybody's frustrated.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like negativity spreads so much quicker than positivity. I mean, I don't feel that way. That is the truth, right?
Yes.
We've been in situations, we've been in environments, we've been workplaces, schools, et cetera. Negativity will always spread a lot quicker than positivity. It's a lot harder to continue to build sustainable positivity than it is to build on sustainable negativity. And the problem that it comes down to then is when that negativity is spread throughout a locker room in this case, the voices that are meant to be the ones to take the negativity out of it are the ones that you're meant to look up to. And that mostly includes the manager because he is the voice that these players are looking to. But also there has to be some accountability, some level of it for some of these senior players, especially for someone like Van Dijk, to stand up. And we don't know what's going on behind the closed doors. We have no idea. Maybe this is what's going on. This is just strictly just guessing based off what we see on the pitch every week, because it doesn't look like they are playing for each other at all. It sort of looks like they're just going through the motions and think that they have enough talent to get by. I think that's really what it looks like, is that these players think individually they have enough talent to get by. And as a team, there isn't anything that's setting them as apart from anything else. So I look at some of the players like Van Dijk, the captain of this team, to stand up and actually will something into these guys, will something into the mentality of like, this can't be the way that we approach every week, because it's embarrassing at some point. When you have this much talent, it's embarrassing to not make it work. Yeah. And maybe most of it's on the manager. Maybe, I don't know. There's always going to be a little bit of it, but like you're saying, it's a lot easier to change the 1 than it is to change the 15, whatever the case is. So I don't know. I think there just has to be some level of frustration amongst the players too, and that they have to Slot can only do so much. He can't make the decisions for them when they have the ball on the pitch itself. It's not like he is telling Rio or Gakpo or Mo or Ekitike or whoever to make this exact thing, to make this exact move at this exact time, to make this pass this well or this poorly, whatever. Decision making, the actual execution, at some point there has to be something on the players as well.
Yeah, that's the part I don't like. Like, like people are basically using slots and just giving a pass to players who are just like making some like ridiculous decisions on the pitch. It is just ridiculous. And here's my thing. Honestly, after a loss or a draw, look at club press conferences. There were some doozies over there too. That's basically because as managers get frustrated and get the same question over and over again. But I noticed now, Bob, you stopped using Chelsea in these sentences. We're down to just United. Because remember when Chelsea, they changed managers, they're gonna roll us and stuff. So now it's started kind of like the Chiesa stuff. People stop saying Chiesa a lot. You don't hear that as much. Somebody actually said, "Why do we put Chiesa?" And I think it was Saidu in the comments. So that's how far we have come on Chiesa from like, how come Chiesa is not getting minutes to this? But no, I mean, Edip is even like on the fence. He's becoming more of a believer, but they know he's not going to like stay next year, regardless of what happens this year is like the thing. Look, what we do about but you just hear what you want to hear, Bob. I guess that's the problem. I mean, this is what I hate about like where we're at right now. And unfortunately, because of fans like Bob himself, I don't think this can turn around because whatever he says or whatever the team does, everything good goes to the player. It becomes Ekitike saved slots. But then when Ekitike, I mean, we had so many 3v3s and 4v3s and stuff yesterday that we kind of like bundled somebody. Like, I don't know what the hell some of those passes were and stuff. I don't know why we didn't score, and that doesn't have to be slot. But everything positive goes to the players. Everything negative goes to slots. Players get a pass. The only reason a manager change helps in these cases, and that's what's happened in United, for example. And I talked about this before. We talked about it with rival bros. So that shield is gone. Like these people are like protected by a shield because everything goes to slots. But now when that shield is gone, that's why interim managers, I think there's a bounce. The shield is gone. You're exposed. It's fucking you guys now. So it wasn't him after all. So the players get a bounce because of that. And that should go on the players automatically. I feel like if I'm a United fan right now, I think Lucky Singh is in there. I would be freaking mad at the players because you could play like this. You just wanted the manager gone, or you had the comfort of that shield above you. So I mean, like Solo says, people have stopped like listening. They're just hearing what they want to hear. They're not really listening to the explanations or anything like that. How many times did Klopp complain about low block?
Every time.
A ton of times. And honestly, it wasn't played this much. I feel like when we go back 3-4 years ago, there were a lot less teams. There were a few more teams, I should say, at least they were playing open game. Now I feel like it's one or the other. Either you're attacking and you're defending and stuff. But I mean, I can't even like defend them because of the results and stuff anyway. But it's the sad point is it feels like there has to be a change, and you can't change the whole team. And this is why usually managers take the fall.
We and I think Solo was talking about the players not listening to Slot, not fans. But we talked about this. I think it was last month. I think we said that because of how toxic it has gotten within the fan base, there is no true way to get past it until the manager is gone. Because there are a percentage of fans, I don't know how many, let's just say 50 to 70%, whatever the number is, that no matter what happens, good or bad, there is some sackable offense for Slot, right? They win this game, it's because the competition wasn't as good, blah, 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 blah. They lose this game, it is all down to Slot. That's just the case there. So there is no world now where we can sit back and actually digest the game itself without finding some reason to sack the manager, because that's the point that we're at. And we can't go forward without sacking the manager. because of where everyone else is at. So yeah, the fix of at least the toxicity amongst the fan base is solely on the change of the manager. Whether that's fair or not, it's not for me to answer. It's just where we're at.
Unfortunately, yeah. And it wasn't low block set pieces this Sunday. The problem I thought was the problem on Sunday was it became a basketball match. So the midfield got eliminated, and I felt like that's one edge we had over them was our midfield. So when we kept bouncing over the midfield, that did not help us at all. Those were the old days where, the talent was more up top, and those basketball games helped us. Like that fast pace helped us because you had that three up top that could create together and work well together and stuff like that. We don't have that right now. So when we started eliminating the midfield, that's when shit went down, because that's one edge we had over them. Their midfield was invisible. So eliminating midfield kind of helped them because it was their weakness that basically got eliminated altogether. But I'll give this to Roshi. Because I do agree with that, but I don't know if we physically, making the wrong decisions could be just mental fatigue or physical fatigue. Obviously, sometimes your mind says something, your body is like, not right now, bro, kind of tired, kind of a deal. What do you say about that? Because I think there is a point to that we do look physically weaker compared to other teams. Look at the Galatasaray game, for example. And I really worry about this Wednesday now. I don't know if we'll talk about that, if the score is better for Wednesday or worse for Wednesday. But what do you make of that? That we do look tired in the second halves. Is that psychological? What is it?
I think there's a couple points to it. I think one is psychological. I think when from the very beginning of the year, when you have essentially 5 matches to start the year where every single one is grabbed at the last minute on your end, that is draining to begin the year with, right? You're fighting for every last second to get every last point that you can. So that starts there. And then you start adding in the other side of it, where you start losing games in the last second. And then mentally, it is very hard to check yourself out of that when that becomes a pattern. But then you add that to a possible style of play change, where when you feel like this more possession control, slow back and forth, moving back and forth, can take you out of a rhythm of constantly go, go, go. I think the difference between the gegenpressing is that the players were always in the mentality of going no matter what, right? So in their head, there wasn't a chance to stop. With this kind of system, it's a much slowed down, it's a much more methodical kind of system. And mentally, if you're not go, go, go all the time, it's easy to just kind of take your foot off the gas and then become more tired mentally and physically that way. And then third, I think these players, a lot of them are just weak. I don't think they have the physical strength or the physical want to be stronger, to be more aggressive, to be more of a bully, right? I think these players they're too cute. I think when I look at them, they just want to be cute. McAllister wants to be cute. Szoboszlai wants to be cute. Wirtz wants to be cute. Ekitike wants to be cute. Rio wants to be cute. Mo wants to be cute. Gravenberch wants to be cute. They don't want to be bullies. They don't want to actually hit someone. And I think that's the full difference from before, where we had guys like Fabinho, Milner, Hendo, Gini. Those guys were nasty. Like they wanted to get into you. They wanted to get under your skin. They wanted to take you out. We don't have that right now. We don't have players that want to actually, so without me saying on air, they're just not strong.
Yeah,
they're kitty cats.
They're kitty cats. Man, some mornings you agree with everything Bob said. Somewhere where if that game ends 1-0 yesterday, they're not booing. So that's I think automatically that gets debunked. I think if they win, they're not happy, but there's no booing. I think the booing is more result oriented than everything else, to be honest with you. If that game ended 1-0, they were like, this shouldn't have been 1-0. But I don't think you would have heard the boos. You heard the boos because I think, I don't understand I don't think so. We keep saying this, but I really don't think so. If you're getting the results, I don't think people care as much about the football as long as the result is there. Now, when you don't like the football and the result is not there, that's double jeopardy over there. Then people get pissed off and obviously express that. And I have no problem with people booing. But I mean, you're right. That's a good point, actually. That we don't have as much in midfields. Like, you have a lot of quality there. And I think maybe that's because of the style we're playing. Like, he wants people who can play with their back and, like the slow build up and stuff like that. But that does take away from a guy that's gonna, smash into people, as Keem would say, like somebody who's gonna be more physical over there, like I don't know, like even like a Joe Linton type or something like that, right? Like, you don't have anybody in midfield, but I don't know if this system requires it. That's like, does he want a guy like Baleba, for example, who is going to do that? Going to be a more physical back in the day, how like Pogba was and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Somebody physical who can out muscle people. This is a very small team when you look at it, especially. I mean, Vince says you need a midfield destroyer, and we do not have that.
Yeah. I think, it's one of those things where I agree in what you're saying, that maybe the system doesn't necessarily need those kinds of players, but the way that the momentum, the way the mentality can shift after like a nice hard tackle sometimes, you know, like the way it just turns the entire atmosphere around, it turns the momentum around. You just feel like you don't have players that are willing to do that. Maybe part of it because they've been so punished in the past. You can think of McAllister specifically, where there have been a couple moments he's gone in and I think unfairly been given a red card for tackles that shouldn't ever probably get red cards. So there is that little bit of a worry with VAR of having the possibility of being sent off for stuff like that. But yeah, you just need someone to just do. I think that's where Connor Bradley's missed a little bit, even though he's so young and so kind of just stupid with what he does. He's willing to throw his body at someone for that specific reason.
I mean, Kirkes would be another one I can think of, actually. And that's how Robertson used to be, right? I mean, that was, and you still see Robertson. He's not, there were a couple of times where I was like, oh man, the Robertson from 5 years ago is getting to that ball. Like it looked like the ball was too fast, but it's like, Robertson is not as fast anymore, kind of a deal. But then you still see him track back the moments we get the ball with Ali. He runs up top and stuff like that. So he still has the will to go up and down the pitch. I really thought, we should have probably thrown in Kirkes a bit earlier. But I mean, Wes is talking about, Slot not having say, so he should. I mean, I don't know. I don't want the manager quitting. He's not going to quit. First of all, like, why would he quit? One, it doesn't look good on your resume for like abandoning the team. It doesn't sound right. And two, I feel like, like he's probably thinking, man, if a couple of these freaking went in, like, I'm not facing all these questions in the post-match. And that's why it's a matter of, I mean, it's freaking finishing, man. He must be baffled with all the people out there and we can't get goals. And he couldn't like answer that question. That's what worries me the most, I think, is, they don't know. And there's like so much of a lack of confidence there and let's face it, a lot of this is confidence. I mean, you look at, some of the shots we took yesterday, some things that we skied and stuff like that. It's like, what are we doing? And it's it has to be a lack of confidence and it feels like, I mean, is it just bad luck, dude? Because there were times when we had the front three, I was like, I fell into a YouTube hole again. And they were like showing some like highlights from like those years. And you see the commentary, and the commentary says like, like, oh, 8 games back to back and stuff like that for Mane. Or, the drought ends after 8 games, he finally gets a goal and stuff. But it felt like, if one guy went down, the other would go up. Like Mo would be on a scoring run, Mane would be quiet, and then like somebody would step up to the plates to be that guy. And right now, nobody is. And the only reason I think we're all like, oh, maybe Isak will be that guy is because he's the only guy not out there. Because we tried everything else. So where do we go from here, I guess?
Go to sleep. We go to sleep. We go to sleep and we wake up in August. Look, we go to Anfield on Wednesday, and you win the tie against Galatasaray, and you go from there. I don't know what else to say, because I think we recognize that the race for the top 5 is going to be a little bit more difficult than it should be, given how much some of the teams in the top 5 want to throw away their chances at top 5. You would think it'd be much easier to settle into that, but clearly that's not the case, because everyone wants to just lose points and give each other a chance.
You go to the Champions League.
Oh, stop. No, we don't want the extra money. It's fine. You stop. So you have to focus on Champions League. And I think that was part of what the rotation was about yesterday too. I think we don't see Rio start if Champions League wasn't at play this week. I think we would have seen Gakpo, Ekitike, and Mo across the front 3, because I think Slot's looking at, and maybe he was looking past Spurs too, thinking, you know what, even if I put this lineup out there with how we've prepared, we should be able to be just fine. Clearly that didn't work, but now you look ahead and the rotations they make, because I think Konate plays yesterday if there isn't a midweek game, right? I don't think Gomez is in. So the changes that were made were in preparation for Wednesday. So if Wednesday does not go well, that's the entire season. I think the entire season just rests on Wednesday's result, and then
I think that's fair.
Going from there.
Ryan says RB2 Salah, and that's the thing. Like, it was all Salah. Maybe that's the problem is it was all Mo last year, and I agree with Solo there. He looks done. I think he has a couple of moments left in him, and hopefully that will come in the Champions League. But he is nowhere near the guy that he was, and you can tell by the confidence. The shot that he takes, and he skies, he nailed that thing when we beat freaking United away. I think that was the 5-0 game or whatever. I think it's like the 3rd or 4th goal. He hits a one time low into the corner, and that's a goal. This time he hits it, he skies it. I think it's a lot about confidence as you approach the ball. I don't know, anybody who's played knows you just kind of go in differently. I mean, you're a basketball guy. Like, when you're on fire, you just keep chucking it from everywhere. They heat check kind of a thing, and if you have it, it just keeps going. And I mean, it's kind of like that. The confidence makes a big difference. But let me ask you this, because I was thinking about this and I'm not even sure if I'm decided yet, because I felt like if it was a 1-0, is 1-0 or 1-1 a better result going to Wednesday, psychologically, mindset wise, approach wise? I mean, obviously a win would be better, 3 points, but will the frustration be something that they kind of feed off of, or it will be, because this Galatasaray team is going to score away? I'm pretty positive. Yeah,
based on the evidence of this year, of every time this has happened and we have said, oh, they're going to bounce back from the frustration of it, it hasn't happened. So yeah. I would have much rather had them take the 3 points and have a little bit more positivity going into Wednesday, because time after time this year, we've talked about on Wednesday, on Friday, whatever the case is, they played such a shit game last time. They're going to want to make up for that. They're going to come out swinging. And what do? Anything but. So maybe it's different because it's the Champions League, and some of these players will look at it a little differently, and it's at Anfield. But I don't think this team has won at Anfield a Champions League knockout game since 2019.
No. Really?
I don't know.
No way.
Like a knockout game.
We'll ask the producer. We don't have one.
Yeah, I mean, hey, someone.
We don't have a producer.
Someone, quick. Look, yeah, I'm gonna call the producer. It's gonna be me. Give me 1 second.
the Polish producer. It's gonna happen this week, sis. This is our week. I don't know. Like that, I'm at the same place. The only thing was, like, I don't know how to take that. You know, when you listen to the Szoboszlai's post-match interview, I don't know how to take that. I don't know if that's a team that's just too frustrated and it's going to keep going like that, or that's a team that says that, who knows. I think it's different going to into a Spurs game versus to a Galatasaray game, because I feel like they probably know the same thing that you're talking about, is like this is their last thing to lean on. I mean, obviously there's the FA Cup and stuff like that, but I think clearly, Wednesday would mean a lot more for them. Davinson Sanchez not playing is a huge plus, but man, I worry so much about the counter because that's where they're dangerous. I do really worry about that. Since the comeback, Liverpool 2 that's the only game? Yeah, but what happens? Oh, there we go. Loss, extra time, draw, loss. Yeah.
I told you. This team has not won at Anfield in a Champions League knockout since the 4-0 against Barcelona.
Dude, that's freaking crazy stats. I'm gonna yell at BJ for not coming up with this. Yikes. That's worrying, isn't it? That's like odd. Like
the famous European nights that we like to talk about. There hasn't been. I mean, yeah, you can talk about the actual group stage play. Yeah, there have been wins, but in a knockout capacity, this team has not done anything at Anfield in the last 7 years.
Yikes. I did not realize that. Well, this is our week, I'm told. That's what the chat says. The chat says it's our week. So, yeah. So what is your prediction for Wednesday? Yeah, I'm worried about this one. And honestly, I was screaming and yelling yesterday. Kind of like lost it for approximately like 30 to 45 seconds over there, got out of the system. Then I went on Call of Duty, killed a couple of people, and I was fine. But Wednesday will really hit hard because it's fucking Galatasaray of all things.
Yeah, I mean that holds extra weight for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there was one match, 21-22 against Villarreal, 2-0. That's the only one that they've won since then. So I just double checked there. Yeah. God, what do I think for Wednesday? I think it is going to be a very nervous atmosphere the first 10-15 minutes. And that's what worries me, is that there is going to be a lack of confidence from the players, and then a lack of confidence from the fans. And I think we're going to feel that through the screen with what we hear or what we don't hear specifically from the crowd. That's the most worrying thing for me. I think if Anfield itself, and it's going to sound silly, but if Anfield itself can get up for this one in the first 10-15 minutes and show the support that the players need, I think that they can take that and go forward. But if the crowd comes out shaky, the crowd comes out uninterested, not confident, I think it goes south pretty quickly. And I hate to say that it's all on the crowd, because it's not. Obviously, I'm not ridiculous in saying that it's not on the players, but there is a certain level of energy that we've seen these guys feed off of. We look back at games at Anfield that have been won, basically willed through the stadium to win. And this has to be one of those moments where the fans want to will this team through.
And that's the weird thing, like, no Galatasaray fans, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. In some ways, I was, thinking if you hear the Galatasaray fans, it would automatically kind of like wake up Anfield to kind of like, get the sound over them, kind of a deal. With them not there, I am afraid of like a theater-like atmosphere. Those damn tourists, I'm told. But like a very quiet, nervous, like a nervous watch in the stadium, more nervous than I am on the screen. What says, even if you guys say, I don't know, and we won't know till we get there. I really do think, because of the quality, that this team, and that's why I felt like I've been saying the Champions League win for like 4 months now, even in like the bad days, because I feel like by then you get Isak back as well, and you get this international break in. And you never know on a single game. Well, not a single game, I guess, but like, and against any team, if they're on their day, this team can do special things. People were talking about the 2005. Like, you never know, but you got to get there. And I'm just not that confident we're gonna get there. I really am not. Like Roshi says, like 2-2 and goes through on goal difference. I am really worried about that. I have to say that. You can't back up now, Solo. We just said our week. There's no freaking no. Delete the sarcasm. This is our week. Chris said it's our week. Damn it. So we're going with that. We lose 2-1. Players don't get the Liverpool crowd now for a couple of years. I think the crowd will be there, especially in the beginning. It's really important how we start the game, and I think you got to kind of feed off of that and got to get him in trouble early. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that game goes. I am like really worried about it. But part of me said this 1-1, the frustration might be better. But then I do hear what you're saying is I've felt that before and we just came out just as freaking flat. The only thing is this is not another Premier League game now. This is Champions League and they know they have to win this. There is no making up for this. They can't be like, oh, it didn't happen again. We're going to try or whatever. So early prediction?
No. Stop doing this to me. I don't want to do this anymore. I hate this. Let's throw some positivity out in the world, and let's say that it is 2-1 good guys, and it goes into extra time, and this team wins on penalties because our hearts just need that as well to add on top of what we've gone through this year. So. Why not?
Sponsored by my cardiologist.
Make up for the PSG penalty kicks last year, and go through, and then beat PSG, and then go through, and then beat Real Madrid, and then go through, and then beat Bodo Glimt in the final, and everything will be good.
Yeah, Solo has totally bailed. Now he says it's not our week. Damn it. But no, I mean, like, it's very hard to be confident about anything on this team right now. It's kind of like a potluck every time they go out there, it feels like. And honestly, it's a matter of, but I do agree with one thing what Chris was saying. We always brag about the Anfield crowd and stuff like that. But I do agree for this. And I know it's like the chicken or the egg, and they got to see something on the pitch and stuff like that. But I go back to this. And, like Turkish fans, I don't know about like PSG. I don't watch as much PSG games, but, Galatasaray, Fenerbahce and stuff like that. I think on nights like this, it's different. Let's go that way. I think, like Chris is obviously just seeing the Galatasaray crowd in Europe. In Europe, that's how they're going to be. In local competition, if it goes 0-0, they're going to need something back from the pitch to get going, similar to the Anfield crowd. But in Europe, yes, regardless of what's happening on the pitch, the stadium is still in the game. And that's really what this team needs right now, because we're not getting it as much, it feels like. But I guess if we don't, Solo says he doesn't trust. He like from our week, sarcastic, we went all the way down over here. Yeah, and that's the thing. I'll be honest, like when Fenerbahce went to Forest, it felt like a home game for Fenerbahce. They were that loud. And Forest never responded. Like Forest fans never responded. They were more nervous, I think, when it became 2-0 after the first leg was 3-0 and stuff like that. But yeah, and I think this is part of it, what Wes says. And you know what? That's what I hate. I go, and I knew it's like the same fucking people in the same fucking groups. I'm amazed, actually, Solo's WhatsApp chat stayed quiet. They're probably in the background talking, so I don't see it, hear it, which is all good by me. But that it's the same people coming out and, like, I've been saying it. People like to be right, and they're almost happy we lose points or we don't perform. That's what really pisses me off, because I don't know what kind of a life that fucking is. Wouldn't want to be these guys' friends for one fucking day, because that's how they are. Like, literally, like, I hate to be around these people in real life, because if this is how you are as a fan, God fucking knows how you are as a friend.
Just as a person in general. I think being miserable for the sake of being miserable is such a sad existence. Now, this does not mean that you can't be sad. This does not mean there are moments you can't be sad. I mean, obviously, there are many things at play when it comes to how you're feeling and what you're doing. But if you're just miserable because you want to be, because you want to see others fail because you want to see things like this, then it's such a sad way to live. And I don't know if it's something that they think it's. I don't even have anything else. That's why
it's more about being right. Like, they'd rather be right than. I mean, we have people like that in our Discord server as well. We'll name names over here, but there are people like that would rather be right than the team win. But pisses me out with these people is, and then when we win, they still celebrate like they were not rooting for us to fail all along. So it's a win-win for these losers. Whereas we either get like, yelling and screaming like I was this weekend. But it is sad because it's basically more difficult to be positive and fighting the good fight over here. But I mean, at the same time, doesn't mean you can be positive and still be critical of what you're seeing. It's just not. I'm not rooting for us to lose so that we get a manager change.
Right. I think that's the hard distinction between some of these fans when they're going back and forth is that you inherently have to be on one side or the other, right? You have to either be completely slot out or be completely slot in. Some of these fans are giving no room to be right in the middle. Sometimes you have to be able to take a step back, take a look at a more objective perspective, because this is a game that we get very emotional over. And when we get emotional over it, we think emotionally. And when you think emotionally, you think irrationally sometimes, maybe most of the time, because that's just
most of the time.
Most of the time. So in order to think of it rationally, you have to think of it logically. So you have to be able to step back and be able to have conversations that aren't strictly one end of the spectrum or the other end of the spectrum. And that goes for life. That goes for everything, especially in this country. That's what we're seeing, right? Everything is either black or white. There's nothing in between. And we could really use with some gray. Maybe not like 50 shades of it, but a little bit of gray.
Oh man, I knew we were gonna go there too. So I don't know what I knew. First season out of 24 total that I can't be accused of being a sunshine. It's been pretty weird. And look, like I say, I'm not expecting to go around like this is going great. I know what you guys are talking about, but had to be able to take a step back. And I mean, if there's shit, you gotta call it out. I mean, you can be critical but still be supportive. I think there are ways of doing it. But if you're like going in, it's not even watching the fucking game sometimes, and you're like, this guy is shit, that guy is shit, sell half the team and stuff. Those are the mindsets that I just can't get behind. It's just like stupid. But like I say, I've been sliding all along, but the more it goes, it's coming to the point where there has to be a change, and you can't change the whole squad. And this is why teams change managers. Let's hope it's not a vicious Manchester United like cycle, because that's why they've been where they're at. Slot Gonsalves Chelsea at the bridge and got called a fake fan.
But here's the thing. You can be slot out if the reasons that you're providing are consistent, that makes sense too. It's not for the sake of whatever happens on the pitch, you're slot out regardless. I think the problem that we're seeing is that some fans who are slot out will not listen to anything or have any other reason or be able to look at anything else outside of the fact that you just want the manager gone. Because I do understand there's going to be a bunch of fans who do want slot out, who are actually looking at the game, who are looking at reasons for it and not just for the sake of him being gone. So there's a little bit of a difference too. We're not trying to say that you shouldn't be slot out. You can be slot out all you want. But you can't look at it as strictly that without any other supporting evidence all the time.
And look, that you can look at results, you can point out a lot of things and say you can give a lot of reasons for being slot out. What I don't like is when people would rather have us not win so they can be slot out. I would rather have fans. I would assume if we go on a winning streak, I would hope that Wes, you would be saying like, I was wrong, and be happy for the team. I feel like these people would rather be happy over here. Oh man, here we go.
Oh, this isn't BJ. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, what is going on, Josh? Where's BJ when you need him? Becker has 103. First of 4 goalkeepers in Europe's top 5 leagues with 100+ clean sheets. Oh, this is a good one. Courtois?
I don't know. Real leaks a lot of goals. I don't think he's up there. I think I'm
looking for somebody who's played a long time.
Yeah. Okay. Courtois is fair. Neuer,
Oh, that's a good one.
Courtois, Neuer. Maybe a sneaky Sommer shout in there, Jan Sommer.
Donnarumma.
Donnarumma. That's yeah. I mean, you think about the French league when he was at PSG and how no other team could score goals. So Courtois, Donnarumma, Neuer.
There you go. You only need 3.
Yeah. Is that it, Josh?
Josh is gonna be like, I don't know, I don't have the answer or something. I was asking you guys.
Yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be like a one that's in there that just
who's an AC Milan goalie? Otherwise, he wouldn't ask. Oh, damn. See, I thought of Oblak, but he's been around for a long time.
He has. That's a good shot. I just
didn't want to go by just
I knew there was
a Milan guy in there. Otherwise, why would be on there? Really?
I totally. Does Ederson even count?
And Donnarumma are not on there. We didn't get one of them, for fuck's sakes.
I knew it was gonna be like that.
God damn it, Josh.
Well, I mean, at least
knocked my confidence going into a work week over here.
Okay, but here's the thing. Ederson doesn't play in the top 5 leagues right now, technically. So I didn't even think of him because he's not active. I didn't think of him
either, actually, yes.
Because he's not in the top 5. So that's not fair. Second of all, fuck you.
Yeah, how dare you, man? Right at the end of the show, like just hitting us below the belt over here. Yeah, thanks for sharing the wealth. Keep the wealth, bro.
tell your buddy that he needs to have like asterisks around what the top 5 leagues are, unless you consider the Turkish league top 5. No offense, I don't.
You know what? How dare you? How dare you?
How dare I? Fuck me.
About the Turkish league. No, it's already pre-assigned. Angosta is going to win it because Fenerbahce lost to the dead last team this fucking week. Yeah, my weekend started with that, with Friday. That's why I took Saturday off from all sports pretty much and went from there. Hassan is coming with Jens Lehmann. I don't know. Like, I'm shocked that Donnarumma. I mean, we went with teams we felt like blow people out of the water all the time, right? Like Neuer, you would think Courtois over the years and stuff like that.
I did say Real leaks goals when you mentioned Courtois, so I wasn't totally on that train. But
where was Courtois before though? Spurs,
Chelsea. Yeah,
I would think he would have some there.
They also leaked goals then. I don't know.
You know, okay. How many does he have? How many? Oh, damn it! Come on, chat.
Stat check.
You check Neuer. I'll check.
Yeah, there's no way Neuer doesn't have.
Because we're going off of Josh's buddy over here, who I have zero confidence in. I don't even know him. 400 clean sheets across his professional career. He has 258 clean sheets for Bayern.
For Neuer.
Right.
I thought I was looking up Neuer. Why did you look up Neuer? You told me to look up Neuer.
I know.
Hold on.
I just thought about that. I was like, oh,
Alisson is one of 4 goalkeepers in Europe's top 5 leagues with 100+ clean sheets. Yeah, this is wrong. This is a very wrong trivia.
Courtois has 150 combined clean sheets between La Liga and the Premier League.
Josh, you need to let us know who this friend is and make sure we never answer a single one of their questions again.
Josh, man, you got some fake news you brought in here. I think they were trying to get something for their own goalie over there and try to twist some stuff. But maybe there's like a bunch of things. When it's raining and there are more than 13,000 fans in the stands or something creepy like that. But
at the San Siro.
Yeah, maybe home clean sheets or something. Even then, I don't know. Like Neuer, I mean, we're talking 240 clean sheets for him. He's the record holder in the Bundesliga, and he's played nowhere but the Bundesliga. 150 for Courtois between La Liga and the Premier League. Yeah. So, okay, I feel better about myself now. Thanks, Josh.
I was gonna say, I feel like a total idiot. Even Neuer's 5 years with Schalke, he had 62 clean sheets. So that's even not that's not counting Bayern specifically.
Yeah,
it's just Schalke. It's 62 clean sheets in 5 years.
Include. I mean, here's the thing: that Ederson could have reached 100, then went to Turkey as well. I mean, he's only been in Turkey like 4 or 5 months, and the dude has been in Europe the entire time. So, Where was he? Porto?
Ederson before City.
Benfica, Porto?
Portuguese league. Yeah, I don't know who.
This has become a Googling fest over here.
Benfica.
I would ask Josh, but with his information, I don't know if you can trust him anymore.
Yeah, Benfica.
Benfica. Okay, I knew it was in the Portuguese league, but okay. Well, you're not giving you. What was your projection? Oh, you said penalties. We win on Wednesday, is what you said.
That's what I said.
It's just me and Gally tonight. Bickler is traveling somewhere again. Well, obviously with these storms and stuff, obviously the East Coast is a lot worse. God knows how much snow Gally and them got, but like last minute and stuff to avoid the storm, I think. So I think we're going to be missing Bickler. But 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, I will be here. We'll probably talk about this stuff. Let's see what we come up with to avoid talking about Liverpool. We made it 10 minutes today, this morning, so we'll see how long we go over there. But yeah, man, he left too. Like, right, Josh, you better still be in here, man, because we gave you facts that you can take to your buddy and throw back at him and say you made him look bad. But
I will never forgive you.
So there's that. Have an awesome week, everybody. Hopefully better than Liverpool Sunday. I'll see you guys tonight. Take care.